Hi, I'm Phil and welcome to the show. Today, watching the lower bracket final from the Diabotical EU Dual Test Tournament Series, Karwik versus Bukzter. Two players I don't know that well, so there's no big fancy intro or anything. Frontier should be an interesting map, especially with this spawn for Karwik, because it looks like he's going to get both blue armors and the Mega, puts him at a pretty big advantage, and if he gets through this doorway without taking a shot from Bukzter, that puts him in a great spot. Now, the danger for Karwik poking through that door is that, well, if you take a rail, or a pincer even, sorry, too good, you lose the advantage that you have getting the two armors and the Mega. Bukzter, with this pincer advantage, really would do well to hold on to it. Unfortunately, the position he's in right now, it opens the door for Karwik to do exactly this. He rocket jumps up, he's going to get the pincer, and he pins Bukzter in an awkward spot, and hits the direct rocket to boot. If he hits another pincer shot here, Karwik opens the door pretty well to push in for a frag. Bukzter on just about 0 HP, but Karwik needs to be careful, because if he pushes in for a frag, there's a chance that he'll take so much damage that he misses out on the next red. And actually rocket jumping in, I think this could be a mistake, because right now Karwik has 60 HP, he's going to get this 50 armor, Bukzter respawning 100, and if Bukzter can make this a close range fight at the Mega, and Bukzter's in a good position to do this, if he gets down this passageway, Karwik missing his pincer shot, that's just opened the door. Bukzter has played this perfectly in response. So right off the bat, both players making some really ballsy plays, but very appropriate ballsy plays. Karwik, he doesn't want to just dive onto this red. If he can hit a shot, that would be great, but overall, he just wants to stay alive, and yeah, he's just going to have to back away and concede that. Bukzter can try and get in and do some shaft damage. It's not going to really amount to much. This next Mega should be Bukzter's, and Karwik, he's looking for, a kind of pincer shot before the real time for the Mega, just to see if he can, get a little bit cheeky, get away with something. Karwik sees Bukzter move before that Mega's actually up, and, Bukzter definitely going to be on that pincer side. Now has the opportunity to cycle around, and I'm guessing Bukzter only just took the pincer for one thing, but I really like that he positions right on that corner, right? Because if you're standing, trying to trade directly onto the red, it's a good spot to, well, like I said, to trade railgun shots or pincer shots. Sorry, too good. But where Bukzter is right there, you're just that cheeky little angle, right? You hit the shot and you disappear. And if your opponent, isn't doing like really specific movement to charge down that corridor, you're going to stop them in their tracks. They're not going to be able to follow you up. Karwik is going to get in and look for some damage on the Mega. He doesn't make it. Bukzter is going to maintain a pretty strong stack lead. Karwik, again, this is nice for him. He's in a strong position. He has lots of options to run away if things get bad, and he's looking to just, capitalize with a pincer shot somewhere. Great read from Bukzter there. Karwik really wanted him to be basically sitting on that red so that he could get a fairly easy pincer shot. Bukzter says no, position down low, the perfect position to counter. Karwik doesn't really have the stack to fight for this Mega. He gets a decent amount of damage, but if he doesn't actually get that Mega, it's not going to be worth too much, because look, Bukster's going to pick this up any second now. And he just, he's still got a pretty good armor stack. Karwik really, really far behind. He's going to set up at this red again. This could be danger. I smell a frag in the water for Bukzter here if Karwik wants to stick around. He is going to get the armor, and beautiful read from Bukzter. So what I really like about that movement from Bukzter is it capitalizes on the exact way that Karwik was going to exit that item, right? Bukzter knew that he was going to take it and he was going to jump forward. So all Bukzter had to do was not take too much damage in the opening of that situation, chill out, let Karwik think he was getting the armor, and then just double back to that perfect time. Great use of the slow field, and yeah, really comfortable frag to tie this game up. And there's a 50 HP there as well, right? It just keeps going well for him, but he doesn't expect the aggression. Karwik gets really cheeky with that push, and the refrag comes out fast and furious. Bukzter, he's gonna have Karwik pinned here, and this is interesting, right? Because Karwik doesn't really have anywhere to be. Right, he doesn't have a lunch appointment or anything. He can just chill out here. The worst thing that's going to happen for Bukzter right now, even if Karwik gets the next Mega, Karwik still, the situation isn't going to change. So this is kind of weird. Bukster's just going to sit here until he's confident that he can back off and get the red. And, well, I mean, he is very comfortably going to get that red. Just Karwik absolutely pinned in place. Weird situation. But Karwik will have a stack advantage now, and just, you can see how much is really gotten off of that really beautiful rush, right? Nice move there from Bukzter. Again, I feel like Bukzter's taken good advantage so far of the exact position that Karwik's standing in, right? Because if you think about that situation, this doorway here from the lower blue armor into the Mega, it's a really tough spot to contest, right? If your opponent is dropping down, when they're trying to come in towards Mega, you really want rockets out to deny that. And Bukzter, I think, kind of reads out that Karwik would be standing here with rockets ready for Bukzter to dive in. Bukzter says, well, hey, I'm just going to sit back. You have the wrong gun out. I'm going to be at pincer range, hits a shot and disappears. And again, he's playing very appropriately for the situation he's in. And Karwik is not going to be super flash on armor right now. Playing for this lower blue, Bukzter potentially could get in and punish there, but just plays on the red instead. Probably better to just take the armor when you are at that armor disadvantage, and especially at the mega disadvantage. Karwik, hoping that Bukzter gets a little bit greedy towards this blue, but of course Bukzter has no need for it with that red. Monster stack on both players, really. This fight could be rough. Bukzter's LG is good, but... Oh, no, and that's some great follow-up damage. Karwik ends up on the side with the red armor. Beautiful little spam rocket there to deny Bukzter. So Bukzter may be overextending just a little, but he has a mega to fall back on. Now, obviously, the awkward thing about casting these games at the moment without the respawn timers is sometimes as a caster, you just get a little bit confused about when those items are. But the idea of Bukzter there, you know, he knew he could always fall back onto that mega. And that's something that I didn't quite pick up on until it was too late. But it's one of these ideas that kind of goes above and beyond actually knowing the exact timing. It's like the rotation, right? So from here, Bukzter sticking his head out could actually leave him in an awkward spot, and he's lucky that he has the smoke, because Karwik is in a better spot to rotate onto this red. He's potentially going to hit damage onto Bukzter. Bukzter looking at the right angle, but doesn't connect with his shot. And Karwik can really shut this red down. Interesting use of the slow field there, in my opinion. Like, he's done a fair bit to Bukzter. I don't know if he needed to preemptively deny that passage. He maybe even would have been better off if Bukzter had tried to push it and then, you know, gotten caught in a slow field later, rather than just shutting it off completely. But Karwik, he's played this completely right, and he's going to end up on the mega. Good anticipation of Bukzter coming for that angle. He doesn't just stand on the mega. He anticipates Bukzter's movement and hits the shot, you know, in advance. So both players, yeah, really making some good calls on how their opponents are going to be moving. Nice little spam angle there for Bukzter, right? Really anticipating the movement up the bounce pad. This is a little bit too cute, I think. He gets a really lucky bounce, and that's going to mean he gets this pincer a lot more free than he could, but I don't know why he's hanging around here, right? In that situation, Bukzter isn't really fighting for anything. Even if he gets amazing damage, Karwik's still in a good position to, you know, back off and potentially get items. I don't see Bukzter ever winning that fight, so I don't know what he was fighting for. Karwik, he's early to mega. He's very early to mega. And that gives Bukzter a bit of an opportunity to move around this side of the map, but, well, he goes back for his blue, and Karwik, of course, still in that position collecting the mega. There goes the Weeble from Jahar. I've got to say, I love Jahar's production on this. The Weeble was a great addition. Karwik caught with the wrong gun out. That's a great opportunity for Bukzter to get some damage. Even though Bukzter gets this frag, he's just made the game a hell of a lot closer, and especially respawning onto that red. Beautiful. I don't think that was an intentional respawn there for Bukzter. Like, he didn't play that intending to respawn onto red. Oh, and that is unfortunate that he doesn't get away with a little bit more there. But Karwik just hitting rail after rail, and that's a situation where Karwik is able to play the situation because, you know, he's been in control. He knows roughly when that mega's going to be. But Bukzter doesn't. Bukzter's just guessing. So yeah, really just a sitting duck for Karwik's pincers. Red coming, Karwik probably doesn't want to actually push through this slow field now, so good use of a preemptive slow field there. Powerful angle, actually. You know, you can swing a lot of the map. It really changes how much you're able to get away with that red armor, even with absolutely no stack. And good anticipation. Again, Bukzter's had this great ability to know exactly where Karwik would be standing and punish based on that. Those rockets are great, just using Karwik's momentum, and he should reward himself with a frag here. Or not. 1 HP, that's fine. Surely expecting some kind of rush. He knows that Karwik is going to be screaming for his life. Karwik still has this pincer advantage, and actually in position on the red, able to get a fair bit of chip damage. Bukzter, if he gets onto this mega, he's going to do really well, and Karwik is able to steal it away. This still could be okay for Bukzter, as long as he's able to get some HP. He hears the spawn for Karwik, which tells him that he's able to clean up some blue armors. He can give up red right now, right? He could maybe go through Telly and try and get to 50 HP. He's gonna look for the lower HPs. I would expect that Karwik had a pincer. I guess Bukzter needed it as well. Fairly nice route to get onto that 50. And yeah, overall Bukzter really does... It's one of those situations where if Bukzter takes damage up at that red, he just gives away mega. And overall, I think going to that red, like Karwik had already taken it, so I don't know if that was Bukzter slightly mistiming, but showing up at that red at all, poking his head out there at all, just makes it so easy for Karwik to zip through the middle of the map and end up on this mega, and now Bukzter's actually in a pretty awkward spot. Mega's gonna come. He does very well with his timing there to know exactly when to dive on it. But Karwik, he seems to have a pretty good sense of the timing as well. And again, it's this play around, I know exactly the position that my opponent's going to be landing on. And that's the concern when you dive on an item like that. If your opponent can have a rocket perfectly placed there, you know, a strong aimer like Karwik. We've seen some great damage from Karwik here, right? He's not only going to hit the first shot, he's going to hit the follow-up, right? If it's a good bounce, he's going to hit serious damage, and that's exactly what we see paying off. But again, yet again, we're seeing a player coming away from this low and being really fearful of the refrag. And Karwik messes up his movement. He's trying to get up to that 50 HP bubble. He's not going to do it. Bukzter in to punish. Great bounce from Karwik, but Bukzter just punishes Karwik appropriately there, really, right? If Karwik had have gotten away to the 50 HP, we'd be looking at a different situation, but Bukzter now really keen to make sure that at the very least that this margin doesn't get any bigger at the moment. And again, it looks like Bukzter, if this blue armor rather comes up for him, who have a pretty nice stack. Good catch here for Karwik collecting a weapon, right? I always love to see a player punishing their opponent for trying to get a weapon, but Bukzter walks into a really bad rocket, and that's going to put him off the map again. If Bukzter can try and cross the map here, that would go well for him, but he should be very, very scared of the pincer of Karwik right now. Like, Karwik's looking to hit a pincer shot, or to catch this kind of damage here. Nice use of the smoke. This should mean that Bukzter can back away, potentially, onto the red. And yeah, I like that Karwik's there for a shot. Unfortunately, he doesn't connect with it. If he hits that pincer shot before the collection of the red, he's pretty much guaranteed a frag, I think. So, you know, even though... and there's always a mega to fall back on it. It's a really low-risk shot to come and look for. So well played by Karwik here. I think his pincer play has been extremely solid, and he's had a very good sense of when he can back away onto megas. Bukzter, again, this is a situation right now where I don't know what he's fighting for, right? Mega's just been taken. Does he not know the time of Mega? Is he thinking that maybe Karwik wants to drop down to get to red, but Karwik can just back away to teleporter and be in position on red? So I think he's fighting to kind of lose the game here, right? And it looks like maybe he has actually mistimed that Mega a bit. Karwik's going to back off to red. Bukzter is going to be in the position to hold Mega, but he's not going to have the stack to do it. Karwik should be diving in. You can see Bukzter is really trying to set himself up to deny Karwik an entry, and Karwik's given it away. So maybe Mega and red were a little bit tighter there than I realized. Or Karwik just a little bit too passive. We'll have to see what Bukzter can make of the Mega, because that is definitely going to give him the advantage. Karwik well set up, and I really like to see that, right? He just got red. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. But hey, we'll roll with it. Solid play by Karwik. You know, again, just lets Bukzter fall into his sword, and I think... Did Karwik delay... Hold on, I'm gonna have to rewind, okay? I hate doing this. I hate doing this in games. You can see my mouse cursor on the screen and everything. So unprofessional. Okay, hold on. So we're here, right? This is where I was saying Bukzter didn't need to fight. No. Karwik backs away. Did he get red, or did he leave red up? He got red. Okay. So what happened? Okay. So I'm with it. Hold on. So what happened is Karwik got red and sat on red. He let Bukzter get Mega, but then when Bukzter tried to rush into red. Okay, that makes sense. And that's something I like to see sometimes, when a player just sits on the item. Again, that's a situation that can be a good catch for Bukzter. It's really unfortunate that he bounces Karwik up to the higher level, because if he doesn't, you know, it's a pretty solid fight. I don't know if I would favor him to win it, but it could definitely be close. And now, you know, with this golden frag up, it really looks like it's going to be too steep of a mountain for Bukzter to climb. He fights well and gets some really solid chip damage, actually, onto the defense of the red. Again, Karwik knows that he can back away onto Mega, but he's still not going to be stacked. Bukzter, not a lot of HP either. If Karwik goes to the teleporter right now, he could potentially catch him going to 50. And Bukzter, again, not actually going for that 50. It looks like he's just scrounged, yeah. Karwik with the shaft out early, but, well, it looks like it's gone well for him. Bukzter just walking forward there. Let's not leave the frame paused as Karwik clips into a wall. So, really interesting game. A lot of damage coming out from both players. A lot of potential for refrags, which was interesting. Man, just a weird game. I think both players had a really good sense of where their opponent was going to be. I think maybe Bukzter mistimed a Mega a little, and that gave Karwik a bit of space, but also Karwik made that play. Like, it confused me just commentating it, where he just sat at red. Like, he got red, ignored Mega, and then just damaged Bukzter as he came into the next red. I think it threw Bukzter off as well, right? So I don't know if that was like an intentional Galaxy brain play where he knew that if he just sat in one place, Bukzter would eventually rush in from a bad position and give him everything. It's weird, but I like it, and it worked well for him. And across the map, Karwik just had a really good sense of when to use Pincer, of when he could go for safe shots where there wasn't really much risk because he could back away to something. Bukzter had a few situations where he took just some random fights that really had no benefit to him, and just one or two fights like that, when you're playing a really solid player, someone who seems to have a solid rotation on the items, a good sense of when they can, like I said, do damage without risk, one or two bad fights can really put you at a huge, huge disadvantage. So across the board, I'm not surprised to see the damage difference in numbers. I'm guessing most of that for Karwik would come just from really sick pincer shots. I mean, he was hitting, like 85, 90 damage pincers, at least once or twice. Yeah, really interesting game. Well played by both players. I really enjoyed it, and I've really been enjoying this whole test tournament series. So I've been Phylum. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a game you want to see me talk about, or if you have a game that you've played that you want me to talk about, I would love to do some lower skilled player games. Get in touch with me on Discord, send me stuff, let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.